Hello, I'm Nicoline Sagona. I am Senior Curator for Gozo Museums and Sites. And today I'm going to speak to you about one of my favorite watercolors in the National Collection, in the Gozo collection, which is a view of Rabat from Sannat by British artist Edward Lear. Edward Lear is one of my most favorite 19th century artists. I am particularly interested in travelers and artists who visited Gozo during the 18th and 19th century, and Edward Lear is one of them. And what I find particularly enchanting are the diaries that these people left us, and they are brilliant narratives of the locations that they visited, but above all, the sketches and the drawings that they produced. This particular drawing is a very recent acquisition in the National Collection. We acquired it last year, and we should consider ourselves very lucky that we managed to win it at an international auction. It is a view of Rabat as seen from Sannat, and it is dated 20th March 1866. Edward Lear visited Gozo for 8 days during 1866, from 16th March till 23rd March. And during his visit, we know that he walked almost all over the island. He records this in his diaries. This particular view he produced on the evening of the 20th March. That same morning, he was in Schlendi, and in the National Collection, we have another 4 watercolors of the Gozo views, but 2 of them are of the same day. Lear numbered his drawings. All the drawings that he produced have a consecutive number, and this is number 203. We have number 200 as well in the National Collection, and what is so very interesting is that from his diaries and from his drawings we can actually map all his walks across the island of Gozo during these 8 days. This particular drawing is the largest from all 5 Gozo views that we have by Lear in the collection. It is executed on grey paper. What's very interesting is that the artist first sketched in pencil. Obviously he was sketching outside on location, and then he very often retraced the pencil drawing in very fine dark brown ink. And then he inserted the washes in watercolor and also the white highlighting in gouache. What's also very interesting are what we call color notes. So the artist, this is something which is synonymous with Lear, he would put in color notes, like for example crimson clover or buildings all white and gold, because this is sunset time. And he would later use these as reference to finish off his drawings. Sometimes he would also translate the watercolor into a painting in oils. Not always is the case, but sometimes it did happen in Edward Lear's case. We've already explained how this is a view of Rabat seen from Sannat. So on the right-hand side, there is the citadel fortifications, and in his diary, Lear often draws parallels between Rabat and Athens. And he does mention, right before he drew this scene, that he was capturing an Athens-like view. And one can also see the very fine detail. And for example, in the distance, there is the aqueduct, and also Tagalmus Hill and Tajordan Lighthouse. So it is really a snapshot going back in time around 150 years ago. This is a drawing which dates approximately to the mid-19th century. And during the time, travels to the Mediterranean were very fashionable. Europeans were traveling to the Mediterranean and the Near East to visit important archaeological sites, and some of these travelers even stopped in Malta and Gozo. It is something that stems from the notion of the Grand Tour, which started off a few centuries earlier. Edward Lear came to Malta also for health reasons, escaping the harsh British winters. What's very important for us Gozotans is that he found the beauty of the island of Gozo truly magnificent, to the extent that he felt that he had to invent 2 new English words to describe the magnificence of the locality, of the island. And in the diaries that he left us and in the letters that he wrote to his friends back in his country, he describes Gozo's magnificence as Pom Schizilius and Grom Fiberis. And these 2 words have become synonymous with this very important artist. So this is what Lear wrote in his diary right before executing this drawing. By then it was nearly 4, and I gave up on the constant high wind and went down to the Sannat road, when I drew the Rabat Athens-like view till 5:30. No other artist is known to have been as haunted with Gozo's beauty as much as Lear.